Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm assuming you're new here because I'm new here, and my name is Sarah. I am a mom of four who just quit my almost six-figure corporate job to pursue working for myself. Additionally, you probably clicked on the title because I've lost 100 pounds naturally. Well, not now. We'll get into that here in a second, but I lost 100 pounds plus naturally through diet and exercise. I have put back on 50 of it. So we are starting a new weight loss challenge. This will be where I track everything, and this is my channel, and it won't be just weight loss. It'll be a little bit of everything because life is lifing right now. Stick with me. Put a helmet on, buckle up, because I'm probably going to veer 100 different ways with my ADHD. So a few years ago, I lost somewhere around 100 pounds. I think it was a little bit more than that because the last time I had weighed myself at my highest, I was in the 280s and I was at a size 18. Quit weighing myself and I ended up in a size 20. Those started to get tight and I started to make a change. So through the years, I've kind of gone between 210 to 240s, and I'd kind of fall back down, just always yo-yoed. But a few years ago, I went through some major life changes. Lost my mother to early Alzheimer's and went through a divorce, and I ended up getting down to 180. So I will clip some pictures if I can figure out here somewhere. I will kind of show you what I don't have pictures of me at my highest. I have me around 240s. I'll insert one of those and then where I got to in my 180s. So I never officially hit my goal, never made it to 179. I seem to have this pattern of I get to a goal like 200 and then self-sabotage. And so I'd really like to get to the root behind why I'm doing that. Logically, I can't really come up with an explanation as to the self-sabotage thing. So I'd love to figure that out. So mental health is going to be a piece of this. As far as how I plan on going about it, I think I'm going to start with just healthy eating, calorie restriction to 1,800. I am going to try counting my macros. My OBGYN, I had a visit over the winter. It's also a weight loss management specialist and tried to push a GLP-1, which if you do that, that's great for you. My best friend had gastric bypass, but I know I've done it naturally, and so I really want to try to do that again. But anyways, so I know protein's really important, especially as we age as women, and so I'm going to shoot for 40% protein, right around 150 grams is my ultimate goal, and then I'm thinking like 30 fats and carbs, start there, and then just really, the one thing I haven't done is really learn and listen to my body and figure out what works. I have done every diet under the sun. Calorie restriction with high cardio. I did 45 days of carnivore 2 years ago. I will say I did feel fantastic, but I knew that that wasn't going to be sustainable for the rest of my life. I've done dirty keto, clean keto, and again, I always get to a certain place where I hit a goal, things are going, and then just something comes up. And so we're starting off just very basic. I do plan to strength train. The goal is 5 times a week, but 3, and I won't beat myself up, and then 10,000 steps a day, but not really 10,000 steps a day, 70,000 steps a week. I heard another YouTuber recently say that, and it really clicked for me, like some days are good, some days are not good, and so some days I'll get 12,000 steps, some days I'll get 8,000 steps, so the goal is really just 70,000 steps throughout the week. So that, along with working out at least 3 times a week, strength training, and calorie restriction, high protein. That's where we're starting, and then we're going to tweak as we need to. The other thing I noticed, and I've started checking, is my blood sugar. I don't really know my dad's family history, and my mom developed diabetes after she had Alzheimer's. So anyways, I've been waking up and checking my sugar, and it's been high. 127-ish seems to be where I'm waking up fasted. I know that's not good. I do think, though, part of that is because I knew that I was going to be starting this, and so there was a lot of binging involved before starting this. So I do think that had something to do with it. So we're going to keep tracking that and just see if after a few days that starts to regulate to a more regular range. And when I say binging, I mean, I was just 220 a couple weeks ago. Over the weekend, I was up to 230. And then yesterday, which is kind of like my day one, it was my birthday and my kickoff day for this, I was down to 225. I'm 224.4 today. That's the other thing, I tend to weigh daily. I'm gonna try to avoid and do it once a week and post that every week with the video. So follow me along for that. I wanted to have a couple days where I wasn't eating out and get rid of some of that sodium intake to have a true number. And I think 225 is realistic. I think water weight's kind of out of the system, minus I started yesterday, so probably a little bit more, but not much. I don't retain that much water when it's that time. So yeah, that's where we're starting. 225, healthy habits. Follow along. I really would love community in this, and I'd love to hear what's worked for you, suggestions as to maybe why the self-sabotage thing is happening, because I can't seem to sort that out. And I've done therapy through the years. I eat when I'm happy. I eat when I'm sad. I eat to celebrate. I just love food. And I do know where that comes from, but the self-sabotage piece, I don't. And so I think for this to be a long-term fix and a way of life, I need to make that click. So yeah, so this is going to be my year is what I'm calling it. I turned 39 yesterday. I'm engaged. I've been engaged since September with my fiance, who's fantastic. He's a few years younger, which was not what I was going for, but here we are 4 years strong, and it works, and he's incredible. So this is going to be my year. I've avoided engagement photos. I've avoided planning a wedding. I've avoided everything because of my weight. And I said that I wanted to be married before I was 40, so 364 days. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but who knows? But I know it won't happen if I don't make a change. And so that's one of my goals, is I wanna get comfortable in my own skin and be excited and plan that. The other piece I mentioned previously is I quit my corporate job, which is probably part of the reason I put some weight on too. There's a lot of stress. I have a million side gigs, from notary signing agent, substitute school bus driving. I've been in real estate for a couple of years. I've always been around real estate, but finally got licensed a couple of years ago. Delivering groceries, like I just do everything. I hustle, I make money. It's what I've always done. I'll never stop. I'll probably work until I'm in the ground. But I did leave my corporate job to pursue real estate. That's the ultimate goal for me. It's where I thrive. It's where I'm happy. The networking and being around people and community, I told you, is so important. And flexibility, just to be a mom. And I started volunteering for hospice and things like that just to fill my cup. But again, my weight is really holding me back. I'll try not to go too much into this, but just to give you a perspective of why I know it's holding me back so bad is when I got down to 180 a few years ago, I was going through major life crises. Like, the list goes on, and we'll probably delve into that at some point and unpack that. But I got down to that, and I literally, and this sounds gonna sound so conceited, but I would walk into a room and it was like heads turned. I was so comfortable. I was so confident. It wasn't the weight or how I looked. I mean, I carried a confidence. I would talk to everybody and anybody. I would go on solo adventures and leave with 5 new friends, just outgoing, and could work a room. And now I'm hiding. I'm not putting myself out there. I'm not pursuing opportunity. I know what my business can be, and I know what it's not because of me, of my actions, of how I'm holding my own self back. And I know it's the weight. I'm so uncomfortable. I can't even believe I've binged to the point where I touched 230 again, because I said I would never get above 220 again. And there's so many other pieces too you don't realize unless you've lost weight and put it back on. Like, went to get my hair done a couple weeks ago, and I noticed I am tight in the chair, and that is new. And it was just one more reminder that okay, we're putting on pounds and we need to do something about it. That's just one small example. The little things, you don't realize how much easier life is when you're smaller, as far as like putting shoes on, getting dressed, using the restroom, like every piece of your life is so much easier. Additionally, just one more kind of final caveat as to why this is so important to me is I was born with hip dysplasia and osteomyelitis in my knee. Big words, I know, basically an infection in my bone. I do need a new hip. They won't do it because I'm too young, but I'm at the point where now they will. They don't like to do it because they wear out super fast, and especially when you're active. But when I had lost the weight, my hip pain was reduced significantly, and I would really like to get as much time out of this before moving forward with the surgery. I also want to be just down so I can preserve my new hip and not wear it out faster. And that'll come into play too as I start to work out and things, because I do have to modify things and trying to work out with just a little bit of limited mobility. It's interesting, and I think if any of you can relate, that would be cool. I didn't even realize how bad it was. I do walk with a slight limp, especially when I'm heavier. And my neighbor actually pointed it out yesterday, like, do you need to see something? So it's all becoming very obvious. And the more I put weight on, the more I'm feeling restricted and uncomfortable and in pain. And so this change needs to happen. It needed to happen. It needed to continue when I got down to 180. My ultimate goal will be 150s. I think if we get close to that, when we get close to that, we will approach that and see. I think once I get to a place where I've kind of maxed out or plateaued, maybe even hiring a coach at that point. I did a few years ago work with a trainer and got in great shape too. Then I wasn't down to 180. I never made it to 180, but I was in really good physical health. So like I said, this has just been my life up and down my entire life. I was bigger as a kid, not a great home life. Grandparents raised me. Grandmother was 300 pounds or 100 pounds. So she fed me to make up for things. And like I said, we can go into all that later. There's lots to talk about, but just kind of a backstory and what the plan is. I will not go into 40 anything less than feeling fantastic. I can't do it, And I think with all the major life changes I'm going through, and now I'm volunteering for hospice and facing mortality and hearing about people's final moments and all the things that they wish they had done, and this is holding me back, and I don't want to live with any regrets. So I hope that you will follow along. I will insert just kind of a 360, and I think my next video I may do a couple outfits, just so as I track every week and weigh in and measure, I'm in similar outfits so we can watch the progress together. But yeah, I'm excited. There's always the fear, like, am I gonna backtrack again? But let's be honest, that's part of this journey, is there's gonna be slip-ups and mistakes, and it's messy and it's never been beautiful. I'm very ADHD, if you can't tell or if clocked that yet. And navigating that and how my mind works and all of the things, I don't know. I'm just excited and I'm ready for change, and I will not have a birthday like yesterday. I will not continue to feel this way. I have to hold myself accountable. I have 4 people that count on me very much so, and I really just want to chase my dreams. Like, I really want to make big things happen. So follow along. I would love to have you comment, like, share. Let's build community. If you guys are interested in clicking and linking up or just following along, let me know. I can insert my social media tags. Fun fact, I have had a TikTok I've had a few go kind of like big. I have one that's almost 8 million. So if I can figure out how to insert a screenshot of that, I may insert that, and you guys can really just kind of see who I am. I'm not usually this serious person, actually quite the opposite. I find not only is food tend to be my cure, but so does humor. We're gonna fix the food part, and we're gonna keep the humor part. So yeah, I will see you next week in the next one, and we will do our official weigh-in. I'm going to weigh in on Sunday, so it might not be quite a week. Starting at 225, let's see where we get to.